Welcome to this episode of Trojan Poetry. We are kicking off a 3-part series of poems by the artist or poet Chen. So we're going to do 3 separate episodes, all by the same author. Mike has not read any of these poems. So the first one is called, from his book, When I Grow Up, I Want to Be a List of Further Possibilities. Just came out in 2017. I was immediately drawn to the title. I go to the library, I look around at their poetry books. This one was on the new shelf. I thought, oh, that's a really cool title. Kind of an unusual shape, kind of square-shaped. You know, whatever it takes to get the book in your hand, right?
Right.
All right, so this one is called Spell to Find Family for Kundiman. I thirst for the starlight that opens elephant skin. I thirst for the raven conjugated into riven by summer storm. My job is to trick adults into knowing they have hearts. My heart whose irregular plural form is Hermes. My Hermes whose mouths are wings and thieves, begging the moon for a flood of wolves, the reddest honey. My job is to trick myself into believing there are new ways to find impossible honey. For I do not know all the faces of my family on this earth. Perhaps it will take a lifetime or 5 to discover every sister, brother. Heartbeat, elephantine, serpentine, opposite of saturnine. I drive in the downpour, the road conjugated into uproar by hearts I do not know, by the guttural and gargantuan highway lion, the 18-wheeler whose shawl of mist is a mane of newborn grandmothers.
All right. Okay. Well, I have to applaud you on your reading of this poem. By
Thank
the
you.
way, it looks cool on the page, and then when you hear it out loud, just the words that he's playing with here,
And the sounds,
it's really cool. You know, on the 4th line there, conjugated into riven by summer storm. I mean, the one thing I did notice was the pattern, where there's a word in the previous stanza that then jump starts the next stanza. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them all follow that pattern, where he talks about Hermes, and then Hermes kicks off the next section. Then he talks about honey, and then honey kicks off the next section. But then the 7th stanza breaks that pattern. So then I thought, okay, well, that must be important, right? This must be where the message is coming in or something important is happening. And he said, I do not know all the faces of my family on this earth. Perhaps it will take a lifetime or 5 to discover every sister, brother. That to me sounds totally Buddhist. Reincarnation, believing that we're all joined together, that we're all brothers and sisters. And I thought that was awesome. And then he leaps back into the crazy imagery at the end. But he's still talking about it. Hearts I do not know, 18-wheeler whose shawl of mist is a mane of newborn grandmothers. So he's talking about this idea of family, and his family is everyone, it seems like.
Right. And what a surreal image, right? I mean, it had me with the mist of, like, when an 18-wheeler does shoot back all that mist, but then to say that that's a mane of newborn grandmothers. Like, I don't know.
How do you get to be that newborn grandmother?
Right. And what does that have to, how does a train of mist turn into that?
That's pretty cool. I just picture them like all these grannies like shooting off. But I want to go back to this. Newborn grandmothers. So that means that they had a child within the womb, and that child had a child. So they're all in there together, but the grandmother goes first. I guess it's like ladies first. Sorry, I'm quibbling here.
No, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool.
It's such a cool visual image.
Right, and you referenced that he does tie back to the elephant, right? So in the stanza 1, he says, I thirst for the starlight that opens elephant skin. And then in the bottom, he says his heartbeat is elephantine.
Yes, elephantine, serpentine.
Right, which I imagine being very strong and powerful, and serpentine, which means being kind of maybe slick and, moving quickly, and then opposite of saturnine. So he's got this great heart, right? He's full of this positive, powerful energy, and he's just driving down the road, and the road is full of this surreal, right, imagery, and the guttural and gargantuan highway lion.
I love that alliteration there. That's cool. When you read it out loud, that's a great line.
Yeah, and so much. I really liked the impossible honey, because, well, so kind of to clarify, so the part where it says for Kundiman, Kundiman is a national organization dedicated to the creation and cultivation of Asian American creative writing. So he was part of this organization, or he knows of the organization, and he does talk about what it means to be a writer, right? My job is to trick adults into knowing they have hearts, right? So maybe part of the poet's job is to remind you, and then of course he talks about having a heart.
The heartbeat, right? Elephantine.
And then I thought it was kind of funny, he says, my job is to trick myself into believing there are new ways to find impossible honey. So, right, I mean, it's a paradox, right? You can't find something that's impossible,
but
he's
that
going to trick
sweetness.
himself into thinking he can.
Yeah.
And he refers to the honey in the line above it. So I just thought it was a very playful, clever, kind of mysterious sound. I like the sound of the rhythm of it. So it instantly I was like, okay, well now I need to, I kind of flipped through, I didn't read it in order. I said, oh, that's really cool. Now I should read the rest. So I did.
That was so that was the entry into the rest of the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, as you were talking there, I noticed that as you made this hand motion, the poem is serpentine itself. You know, the way it flows in and out of each stanza, and one leads to the next. So really cool.
All right, so we're going to have some links at the bottom of the page. There's an interview you can watch on YouTube with Chen being interviewed about his work. And stay tuned for the next 2 episodes, because we're going to do 2 more poems.
Thanks for watching. Please join the conversation in the comments on YouTube or on Twitter at Trojan Poetry DGN. Also, check out our website at trojanpoetrydgn.blogspot.com.